Oh, and we're live. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome back to more Final Fantasy XIV. What is No, not probably. This is going to be the last Shadowbringers stream, and unless something exceptional happens and I have to cancel the stream rather early. So, last we left off, Fandaniel has brought his Telephoroi to start attacking and summoned all the towers, which we found are effectively primal summoning machines. And that's why they've been kidnapping members of all the beast tribes. There's no towers, I don't believe, in Mordona to show off, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, maybe it's a good thing that there's no towers here. But with all that said, let's get right to the continuation. We left off kind of having pushed back one of their assaults and defeating Lunar Bahamut. Oh yeah, that was the other main thing. Astinian's joined the Scions now. Any word on what's been happening? Sorin, you're looking well. I take it you managed to squeeze in some rest. If you came hoping for tidings from Kryl, I'm afraid we're still waiting, but we do have some odd scraps of news to share. Yes, scraps, she says. Lunar primals have been popping up all over the place. But the Alliance has the situation well in hand, thanks in no small part to Hoary Boulder and the others. Meanwhile, talks with the beast tribes are going even better than expected. Encouraged by Ulda's progress with the Amaltia, Gridania has opened negotiations with the Exile, believe it or not. That's definitely good news. All of which is obviously very encouraging, but with the Telephoroi still out there, it's not as if we can afford to lower our guard. Right. Still don't know exactly what their plan is. Resistance? Begging your pardon, but I come bearing an invitation from the Alliance. A council meeting is due to be held in Alamigo, and your attendance is humbly requested. Huh, we were just talking about the Alliance. May I ask what's on the agenda? I believe the intention is to share news of recent developments, and discuss what measures might be taken to combat the Telephoroi, in concert with our new allies. The Beast Tribes have also been invited. It is hoped that they will join us in the fight against our common foe. So the Alliance would bring all of the Beast Tribes into the fold at a single stroke. An ambitious plan given the delicacy of the negotiations, but mayhap an expedient one, considering the threat we face. Indeed, my lady. And for their part, I am told the Beast Tribes have agreed to attend. If the Scions too are present, all of Eorzea will be represented. If that's the case, then we can hardly say no. To arrange such a meeting must have been quite an undertaking, not only diplomatically, but practically. I pray inform the Alliance that we would be honored to participate. We shall make for Alamigo without delay. And I will bear your answer endeavour with all haste. We look forward to receiving you at the Royal Palace. All the tribes and nations of Eorzea under one roof. Well, now that we've accepted the invitation, who exactly is going to attend? I move that you and Y'shtola lead our contingent. Given how long you have worked to end summoning, it is only right that you be present for what promises to be a historic moment. I think we've all played our part in this little endeavor, don't you, Sorin? Yeah. We've all done our part. All present may rightly claim a seat, I do quite agree. But, by your leave, I believe I shall remain here and lend what assistance I can to the coordination of our defensive efforts. I'm not coming either. Emmerich will be there, and I'd rather not be interrogated. Very well then. Well, those of us with a mind to hold the fort get on with holding it. I suggest the rest of us make for Alamigo. Shall we? I wonder how this meeting's going to go down. I suppose you could say I've got friends in pretty much all the Beast Tribes of Eorzea. I don't know if any of the friendly factions I'm familiar with will be represented here. Everyone? Yeah, even with the swift intervention of the Immortal Flames, all too many lost their lives at Pagelfan. Still, closer cooperation between our peoples will be required if we are to thwart the plans of the Telephoroi. We've been expecting you. While some few guests have yet to arrive, the Alliance leaders are all present. Shall I show you in? Nope, I don't have a choice there. It automatically goes to the cutscene. Everyone here. Even Lord Ian. Elder Frixio, Denaf, and Sahagan. So, really is everyone.
Esteemed guests, you honor us with your presence. As there is much to discuss, let us begin.
Information on our taken brethren you have, yes? Hear it we would! Beyond forgiveness, these featherless ones are! With rivers of blood shall they pay. Freed our people must be!
We too would see your kin liberated. But ere we attempt their rescue, we must first find a means to negate the risk of tempering. Without that, we will be unable even to approach the towers, let alone contend with their defenders.
If all else fails, I've always found cannonballs quite effective.
Is attacking from a distance an option?
And what of the prisoners? Would you see them slaughtered?
That's a point.
Think for a moment. Ponder, consider, think. If Merlwyb truly intended to bombard the towers, she would have done so by now. Remember, we came here to find a solution together, did we not?
Y'Stola spoke of defenders. I but offered a means to clear a path, should you require it.
Right. Even if we deal with the defenders, if we can't get close without being tempered...
Given the enemy's capabilities, we will all need to play our part if we are to have any chance of success. For if any here should give less than their best, it will be to the cost of every living being on this star.
A paragon, the Empire, our very gods. How can we hope to prevail against such odds?
That our foe is formidable, none would deny. But our strengths are many and varied. In this chamber, I see masters of strategy, masters of magic, masters of the land, the air, and the sea. And together, there is nothing in creation we cannot overcome.
Is everything okay?
I beg your pardon?
What is it, Soulwalker? Do not express your passion thus. A little pretty without gills, perhaps? Suffice it to say, I am proud to be counted amongst Eorzea's finest. We Sahagin will play our part.
We kobolds have not forgotten the crimes the Overdwellers committed against us in the past. But today we look to the future, as allies united in purpose.
We're all together on this?
Make mock of the Ixal the Paragon does! Turns kin into puppets! Pits brother against brother! Free them from his grasp, we shall!
As Patriarch Zadar will attest, the Scions have granted us a means to free your brethren from their thraldom. This boon we will gladly share, that your people might never be enslaved again.
We accept! We accept!
Praise me!
They actually came.
It's taken a while, but I do believe we might be one step closer to a world without primals. Would that Minfilia were here to see it.
We still have a long way to go, and we're going to need a lot more Porksies. But we're moving in the right direction.
It's certainly been a long road.
If I may have your attention, there is one other point I would like to raise. As we can all agree, freeing those held captive must take precedence over every other concern. But experience has taught us that none save those with the capacity to resist tempering can hope to enter the towers unscathed. And even once inside, a still greater threat may yet await them, that which we call a primal. Needless to say, if we are to succeed, engaging with such foes can only ever be considered a last resort. And so I move that we seek to prevent them from being summoned in the first place.
How do you propose that?
Yes! Both prayer and ether are needed for the ritual. Should either one be denied, the summoning would fail.
Right.
Indeed. And so we must endeavor to discover the source of the ether on which the process depends. Do so, and it may present a way to halt the summonings, or perhaps even neutralize the towers entirely.
A promising proposal. While you are conducting your investigations, however, we will need to remain vigilant, lest the Telephoroi commit further abductions and summon primals ere we have the means to prevent them. To stand a better chance of keeping our enemy at bay, we would do well to coordinate our defensive efforts, sending reinforcements to assist our neighbors when needed.
We Amalja would have been overwhelmed were it not for our newfound allies. But say the word, and we shall come.
I see we are all in accord. But what are we to call this proud fellowship of ours? I submit that the honor of naming it should go to the scion whose brave efforts have done so much to unite Eorzea. What say you, my friend?
Me? A name? Name... Wait. I wonder... Is this what Alphino was thinking of? Back when he founded the Crystal Braves? I suppose even if it isn't, that's... I would call it the Grand Company of Eorzea.
But that's the name I...
A fine choice, for there is none here who does not love Eorzea.
Aye, in that we shall ever be united.
United in our gratitude for the realm that gave us life.
Then let it be recorded that on this day, the Grand Company of Eorzea was born.
How long have we dreamed of this moment? And now that it's here, Oh, forgive me. Might we speak outside?
Of course. Maybe I should have asked Alphino first if he was... Got to get rid of my little chat box. Well, now that we are out of earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Let me begin by saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set foot upon these shores, and that I was as hardened as anyone to see the peoples of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Yet, even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, of the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost. Inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. But at least now there is hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step. The first of many. Many and more. Who's... Oh. And he's that was the wrong voice. Oh, Elder Seeds here. How might we be of service? I seek Master Alphino's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbours, the Sylphs. I know that you and yours have long kept a weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of primals, And so you will be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. The Ash Crown That's the group I worked with to... during all those other beastman abductions. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relationships not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the Sylph's established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts of our new fellowship. Yet, there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the counsel of one versed in the operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the self-same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphino. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. In my hubris, I plotted a course for the Crystal Braves which stretched far beyond the Order's initial conception. One intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught. Built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals, the Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests. And I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I ask too much of you. Not at all. You may count upon my assistance, for what little it is worth. By your leave, I shall prepare a report, including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphino, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt but that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telephoroi and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends. Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I should like to hear. Former Braves, you understand. Might you join me in seeking them out? I can't think of an excuse not to. Of course I'll help out. Just let me know where you need me to go. Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours would be a reassuring presence. I'll join you. If you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades, it'll be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of today's events. We should be glad of your company, Graha. I shall explain the details on the way. Well, where are we off to? So, what's the plan, brother mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I proposed is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Ul'dah, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history, from the events that led to its inception, to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that it might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. Oh, hello Mooney. Welcome to the stream. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone, its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be broadened to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be the crucial question. Namely, why, after the Crystal Braves disbanded, did some members choose to remain with us, while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new Grand Company together? And this knowledge might help us to prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. That is my hope, yes. But the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I doubt that those who abandoned the cause would welcome my inquiries. Excuse me? Then Gra and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you, and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Riol and Alian. If memory serves, the two of them will be attending an intelligence briefing at Castromorians. Let us seek them out there. Right. Oh, been a while since I've been to Castromorians. Don't have too much reason to visit the fringes these days. There they are. Well, look who it is. What brings you two here? Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a manner of speaking, I've been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. It's cathartic to go into Balezar's wall and sing to give him. Oh. No, I've been in Balezar's wall a couple of times recently. Sloppy. Is that all I'm just remembering that little, the little animated sketch. I think it was a while ago now. I sent it to you, Mooney. So you want to know why we decided to stick with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As I once explained to Sorin, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for my own tale, well, I've always felt the signs of something in common with my old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time's gone on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Ori Boulder to Mistress Nataru, we've all of us got something to offer. And not one of us is doing it for personal gain. So we believe there's more important things than that. Things worth protecting. Which is what being a Scion's all about. I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me. Sorin, could you... Of course. Well, I suppose knowing why you stayed, why do you think it went so badly? Well, it's founding ideals are something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. For every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, but while I will never forgive Ilberd, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. It's a pity he was doing it for all the wrong reasons, eh? It only takes one bad apple, they say. And the Braves had a barrel full of them. Not like the Scions. We might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose. And why? Because the Taru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see. So while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we are all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Well, I think we've taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let us make our way to Gridania, and hear what the others have learned. I imagine what's to come is likely to be more than a little painful for Alphino. Still, it hurts a little to remember how depressed he got following the banquet. Took quite a while for him to regain his confidence after that. Starting to remember that dialogue choice later. Oh yeah, that's actually already happened, Mooney. That was at the beginning of the session, I think, before you got here. Thanks to Tataru's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphino, some of their comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Sorin went with the call it the Grand Company of Eorzea as well. Thank you. I will set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go on ahead to the Little Solace and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. You gonna be okay, Alphino? Leave me to attend to my report and join the others in Little Solace. I shan't keep you waiting long. I know how playful the sylphs can be. At least they're not as bad as the pixies in the first. Oh yeah. Did manage to get a new mount for Sorin, the Gabriel Alpha. I do quite like it. The little jet plane. I do appreciate kind of, I'd forgotten that the Ash Crown Consortium from the combined tribe quests in A Realm Reborn like does come up in the story. Elder Frixu? Ah, welcome, brave ones, and friends of brave one. How good it is to see walking ones again so soon after the meeting. Do you need this one to dance again? Oh, no, no, be at ease. It is true that these ones once delighted in making walking ones dance, but no more. Horned one Kane Senna said that walking ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial ones also invaded Sylphlands and abducted many of these ones. So these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Telephoroi. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice walking ones can provide would be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-haired one, and in quite a hurry, it seems. Alphino? Alize, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphino? Don't tell me. You couldn't read my handwriting? What? No. A Twin Adder officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Charlian has sent an envoy, who is due to arrive in Gridania at any moment. Charlian envoy? Then does that mean Kryle's negotiations were successful? An envoy? Could it be that Kryle has managed to sway the form? We shall know soon enough. But there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the Elder Seedseer. Really? I can see why they might want Scions to be present, but us specifically? Wait. It isn't who I think it is. It is. I could scarce believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told that it was one Fortuneau Levier. Levier? Your father? Well now. The fact that a serving member of the Form had journeyed here would be surprise enough, but him? Quite. I glean from this that they are taking the matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 Form members? Unless he volunteered for it. It has been quite some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he is concerned for your well-being? Went back to watch that scene, remember? Oh yeah. Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him again after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Elder Frixio, loath though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies, along with my report. Never mind. There'll be time to talk later. This one won't keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go. You know, if I remember, it was his idea for... Yeah. The audience will be held at the Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seedseer awaits even now. Let us be on our way. Right. I guess we're all going to be in attendance? Alphino and Alize's father. Wonder what kind of person he is. I've heard plenty about their grandfather, Louisois, but they've never talked much about their parents. Doesn't look like he's arrived yet. Sorry to keep you waiting. Fandaniel looking empty at this time of day. Yeah, the advantage of being in the wrong time zone for my server. So the downside money is queue times. Queue times during this time of the day for me can be a bit of a struggle. My friends, thank you all for coming so swiftly. Word of Master Fortuno's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mistress Kryle's permission to request Charlian's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the Forum. What the nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover. Right. Hopefully they can see how urgent things are. Is that him?
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience. I am Fortuno Levea, here in my capacity as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
It's the...
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
I've heard his voice. I've heard this guy's voice before. This is my first time hearing his English voice actor. But I've heard... I don't recognize where, but I know his voice.
How is Mother?
At least I feel like 99% sure I've heard this voice before.
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisois, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Charlian stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are. But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Charlian will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
Maybe it was too much to hope.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days? Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald, one in which Charlian will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telephoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Are we supposed to just not fight? Would we want a bit of walk? Yeah, but then you have to consider what's the cost of losing. Would Sorin remember? I think Sorin would remember Louiswa's words. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom. It is indolence. You know those words, don't you?
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike him, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy. Alphino, Alize, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
That's...
What?
Did he just...
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fortuneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father, wait!
Don't bother, Alize.
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Oh, I think, is that the beginning of the fist clenching? Yeah, the beginning of the Endwalker fist clenches. Jose? So that's what he came here to say. That we're all fools around the temerity to defend ourselves against the Telephoroi. As for the rest... Like it or not, this was the Forum's decision. To watch from afar as Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger. And as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fortuneau who must be persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. Their decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed. And so we shall face the Telephoroi without their aid. Forgive me, but If they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go to the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel, as they are wont to do? Sorry, excuse me. Sorin, has Master Fulchino arrived yet? He's actually just left Krile. It is as I feared. My efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I should rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject, without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be they are hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Fulchino's performance. When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end, and simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know, but something tells me they are not as unconcerned about the Telephoroi as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea. I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can still find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here. When the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in Eorzea stand on a knife edge. But with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. Always wanted to visit you. If I can leave that to you then, Krile. Excellent. Obviously, keeping the Telephoroi at bay must take precedence. But with luck, you'll be able to make the journey to Sharlayan ere long. It may take a while to secure entry for you all, but I'll let you know when everything is in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause to hope. Yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible the Sharlayans hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt in them a change of heart. And so, for the present, we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telephoroi. Even with all of Eorzea standing united, there's no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Sharlayan intend to do if we fail? Food. I'll take the one that gives critical hit. Sure. Not like I ever remember to use food. While Sharlayan's stance is indeed disappointing, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much and more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the Forum's response with my counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask that the Scions... Grave tidings, Walking Ones! Grave tidings! Oh. Calm yourself, my gentle friend. What has occurred? These ones who went to see Feathered Ones sent terrible news. Destroying Ones have appeared in Zelphatol. Zelphatol? Destroying Ones and captured Ones, and even frightful cuddly Ones. Feathered Ones didn't stand a chance, and were sent flapping and squawking. When did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late. But luckily, Destroying Ones were only passing through, and continued on west. Feathered Ones who did not fight were left unharmed. West? That would be Curfus. My lady, the Ishgardians report that the Telephoroi have emerged from the eastern highlands of Curfus and are marching at speed. Though their purpose is yet to be determined, the Cartano Flats would seem their most likely destination. Lord Emmerich has already dispatched his forces and requests our immediate support. Tell him he shall have it. The time has come for the Grand Company of Eorzea to prove its worth. Cartano. Haven't been there since that business with Omega. When we woke him up. Well, mayhap it is a mercy that we do not have time to stew upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, let us make haste to Cartano. Right. Wait, this one almost forgot. The Destroyed Ones are said to be led by Cackling Robed One. This one must see that all walking ones know. Farewell. Cackling. Fandaniel. Who else? It was only a matter of time before that grinning maniac showed himself again. I shall have an airship ready to bear you to Cartano. Pray see to your preparations, and report to the landing with all haste. Right. At once, my lady. Let us away. So... maybe this is a... I don't know if we can stop them here, but... if they're gathering for whatever reason, hopefully we can do something to even slow them down. What are these two doing downstairs? Alphino has been unexpectedly delayed, but you should probably go and see for yourself. He's by the entrance. Has something happened? Fordola? Sorin, it would seem Fordola here has come all the way to Gridania to find us. I have explained the situation, but she insists her business is urgent. Aye, and it'll be over sooner if you shut up and come with me. Well, should we, I guess, oblige? If it's this urgent. Wait, Arnvold?
Arnvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
Only because you're sitting down. Unless...
Afraid so. The Chirurgeons say I may never walk again.
Arnvold.
Come on, Alphino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alphino, you already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
What's the Sorin response here? I don't think the middle one. I think the adventure's not over yet. We'll when just come back and do a little more exploring.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. But I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owley once entrusted their dreams to me.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be. To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold. Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, all right?
There it is again. I never noticed the first time I played Windwalker now, but now that you've brought it to my attention, I'm going to be noticing every time.
And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero, do you know that? You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphino and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. But I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
I'll be aware of it every time I see the little fist clench. Sorry to keep you. You can tell me later what that was all about, but judging by the set of Alphino's jaw, it appears to have done him some good. Tancred and the others have already left the Rising Stones. And according to the communications officer, Amalter and Kobold forces are also bound for Cardno as we speak. They mean to keep the promise they made in Alamigo, and we must do the same, by saving as many of their tempered kin as possible. Anyway, the airship is ready to depart. We should get going. Oh, here we go. Death unto dawn. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Sorry to keep you all waiting.
My fellow Scions, as I am sure you will have heard, we can expect no help from Charlian, nor are we any closer to discerning the Telephoroi's grand design. And now, our adversary moves against us in unprecedented numbers, compelling us to answer in kind. The outlook, in short, is bleak. Yet though our foes are many, and we but few, we may still tip the balance in Eorzea's favor.
Of course. We will do what we always do. Deal with the ones our allies can't. A less than daunting prospect, judging by your expression. Could it be that you've dispelled your lingering doubts, Alphino?
You'll be okay.
Oh, I doubt I ever will. But as my friends have kindly reminded me, I have come this far, and that must count for something.
Gods be good, Alphino. That's what we've been trying to tell you all along.
For one so bright, you can be remarkably dim at times. There is such a thing as overthinking, you know.
Might I suggest that we continue this conversation after the battle? It would appear that Telephoroi have already arrived.
I'll do what I can to cure the Tempered, but they'll have to be incapacitated first.
Have care, my friends, for none can say wherefore our foe did choose this fateful field to be our battleground. Whatever may transpire, pray grant him not the pleasure of deterring you.
Right. Well. Shall we get to it? Listen well, friends. The Telephoroi are sweeping across Cartano. As for the Ascians, he was briefly sighted above the battlefield, but has since vanished. He likely intends to watch events unfold from afar. Thus far, the movement of the lunar primals has proven difficult to predict. Even when poised to ambush our troops, they instead withdraw for some unknown reason. Whatever the Telephoroi's plans may be, the primals are our primary targets. Understood. They will not elude the Scions for long.
Prepare yourself!
We cannot allow ourselves to be stalled here. Guess we're dealing with this first. Nope. So we gotta clear the path first. One more. How many of them are there? So they would overwhelm us with sheer numbers. I will keep them occupied. The rest of you seek out the primals. Graha? Let us divide our forces that we may locate the primals more swiftly. Frankfurt, Stoll and I will head... Oh. I'll concentrate my efforts on the Tempered. With luck I should have the chance to cure some of them. Then I'll go west. Sorin, Alphino, come with me. Be careful. Still no sign of any primals. As the Scions spread out across the field, Eorzea and Graha take the fight to the Telephoroi. There are so many of them. Fire combo. Scorch. I won't be curing anyone at this rate. We'll have to incapacitate them first. Only our enemies. Okay, I think I understand this.
Allow me.
More of them. Here's one. Oh, I shouldn't be voicing this as Sorin because I'm not playing as Sorin. My tempering has gone too far to treat them here on the battlefield. With this degree of physical alteration, I fear they are beyond help. Imperials or no, I hate to see them in such pain. We must see that their suffering is not prolonged.
Just the beginning.
Right behind
you. Ooh. And back out. Should I be healing Graha? Is that a rule I have as Eorzea? I feel I should be. Oh. Seems to have earned a moment's respite. Then let us take this opportunity to cure the Tempered. Send Angelo to... Do I... for cure? Oh no, I need to interact with Angelo. 2 tries off at your first effort? Do any particular part of it, or just the instance in general? Odyssey. I can't remember if I cleared it first time or not. What's he up to? Do you see that? The glyph? Yes. How worried should we be? Listen well and judge for yourself. Though I can see ethereal currents, I had not thoroughly examined those that flow through the heart of Cartano. But now that I am here, things have become clear. The flats conceal an etheric confluence, like to the pillars of the Asm Steppe, but greater in scale, far greater. Then, the glyphs that Fandaniel has conjured reach into its very midst, and I believe I know their purpose. Should the lunar primals destroy them, it would spark a chain reaction with the potential to obliterate the confluence entirely. That's bad, right? The resultant disruption to the flow of ether would sow chaos among the elements, prompting earthquakes, floods, and tempests large enough to lay waste to the realm. Very bad, then. That he would go so far cometh as little surprise. We must needs protect the confluence at all costs. Nope. Defeat Lunar Odin. Oh, as Eorzea. Is that Odin? So the time has come to pit my blade against his. Follow my lead. Malefic. Lord of Crowns. So... Draw a card. Do damage. Draw a card. Recover MP. And... Buff party. Benefit. Spectatos. Fix. That's... Oh, I can't remember the other one, but that's... Okay. I do remember it's a little confusing, like, having to get used to, like, so many different hotbars. Oh. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to... Right, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? I think so. This is... Oh. I'm not Sorin. This is the same one that Lunar Bahamut used. Oh boy. The... This does not bode well. We'd best brace ourselves. Oh, should I be healing the confluence? Can I heal the confluence? Oh, I can indeed. Such strength. It will take all three of us to protect the confluence. But first, Thancred doth require our aid.
Away with you!
Okay, there we go.
The best defense is a good defense!
Odin is preparing to strike again. Stay out of his reach. Still outside. Okay, Confluence is doing fine. Middle? Middle is safe. The Confluence is in trouble. Oh boy. He yet stands. A glutton for punishment, it would seem. In which case, I'd be glad to oblige him. Given the lore of Odin, though, does that mean that Fandaniel was able to steal the sword? Oh. Meanwhile, Graha, Tia, and Alizé prepare to lock swords with Luna Ravana. Oh. Time for Graha? Because isn't Odin's like a special primal in that he's kind of... the sword summons him, rather than a people? That must be Ravana, a formidable opponent by all accounts. But so are we. That's just casting combo. That's a restore MP attack. That's a damage over time. Cure, AoE cure, and prevents spellcasting movement and other activity of all nearby enemies. I guess? So it falls to us to protect the confluence from this fiend. Ooh. Well, this feels like the Black Mage experience. I just press the one button over and over and over again. Just spam some fire. Like moths to a flame. We have to keep them from the confluence, but there's so many. Then allow me. Quick casting of break should buy us time. Oh. Okay, that's how break works.
I have you now.
That works. Oh yeah, that's Ravana's thing. That was a little close for comfort, but now's our chance. Oh, I need to... MP recovery, please. I didn't see what... this side? I didn't see what side his directional parry was. Oh boy. I would say I would appreciate it if you dodged. Oh. The Rose of Immortality. Battle time. I have a way of breaking his defenses, but I'll need time. Keep him occupied. Understood. Let us hope the break works as intended. Ooh. Alright, I'm ready. It's now or never. Eorzea just setting off with a little bit of a nuke there. Rejoice in the glory of... There's another one down. At the selfsame moment, you stand shoulder to shoulder with Alphino and Astinian, resolved to lay Luna Ifrit low. Ifrit. This was how killing Primal started for me. Luna Ifrit, the one Arenvald and Fordola encountered. Let's get to it. This one is not to be taken lightly. Be on your guard. Ooh, nope, I messed up my combo. It feels a little more familiar to Luna Bahamut than actually fighting Ifrit. Nails again. Whatever those are, they bode ill for us. Smash them to pieces, or it's too late. Yep. I can confirm they're bad news. Ooh, you doing okay, Darstinian? Where is he? I remember this. That's his extreme version of the rush attack. Center again? Looks like it. I'm forgetting how to play Red Mage a little bit. Ooh, careful. More nails. More of them. Our foe seeks to destroy the confluence, and us along with it. So, it's come to this. Estinian? Estinians? I don't know how he managed that, but can't complain. Agony of the Damned. As long as I draw breath, I won't give in. It's time we ended this. Come on. Hold on, Alphino. Did we do it? Seems to be clear. See if we can't help the others. Wait. Fandaniel.
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
Has he given up? Looks like it. At least for now. Let's... Alphino? Need a hand? Oh, soon.
Glory be to Garlemore.
How fare the Tempered?
We've treated as many as we can, but some were beyond help.
Saved as many as we could. Healers and doctors have it. Yeah.
Do not hang your head so, brave scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored. You could do no more, and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
Should have been quicker. But I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless. We must stay strong and press on. Isn't that right?
Right. One battle at a time. Eventually, we'll win them all.
That we will.
There it is. I do kind of wish that it was the Endwalker theme started playing instead of Shadowbringers. If we had a little bit of a little snippet of footfalls. Oh, I forgot there's credits at the end of the patches. Yeah, no, I do kind of get why, but oh, I think it's just my personal preference to I would have loved this because it's so clearly leading into Endwalker. Am I safe to skip the credits? Without, like, this doesn't skip any additional cutscenes, right? Just enjoy the art for now. I wonder if this is all like this the type of artwork you get in... You won't skip cutscenes, you're fine. Alright. Oh, I'm just always nervous about kind of doing that. I wonder if this is the kind of art that will be in the rulebooks for the Final Fantasy tabletop RPG. I think I have other things to do. Oh, Mystinian and Emmerich finally in the same room again. I didn't realize you don't miss anything when you skip the credit. Yeah, I think the first, well, in my own time, I kind of played through all of them. Like, let all the credits play in my own time. But given it's not even the end of the game yet, I feel letting them play through on stream repeatedly isn't the most intriguing content. I trust you all enjoyed a comfortable flight aboard the Pride of the Ishgardian fleet. Lest you worry, the Bonanza has been towed to a nearby location to be retrieved at your convenience. You have thought of everything, Lord Emmerich. May I say how much I appreciated the hospitality you afforded us on the way home. Think nothing of it. Our destination lay in the same direction, and it afforded me the perfect opportunity to learn how my errant friend has been since last he took his leave. And it would seem you have finally found a place to settle down. I merely grew weary of wandering the Far East. Returning to more serious matters. While the Telephoroi have been driven from Cartano, it is like that the bulk of their forces yet remain. On the evidence of the Grand Company of Eorzea's first joint military operation, however, I am confident that we have the potential to meet such threats head-on, even without the aid of you and yours. As such, while our forces keep the Telephoroi at bay, I would ask that you apply your talents to the task of neutralizing the towers. A sensible division of labor. While the towers remain, so too will the threat of the lunar primals. And given our expertise in the field of etherology, we are better qualified to find a solution. That we are, especially should it happen to lie beyond the Alliance's dominion. There is a time and place for formal investigations, of course, but certain secrets are wont to hide where only enterprising individuals may venture. I could not agree more. There are none better suited to this task, nor any upon whom I would rather rely. On behalf of the Alliance, I thank you. We look forward to receiving any information you are able to uncover. And with that, I must take my leave. Should you have need of assistance, pray do not hesitate to ask. Fare you well, my friends. Well, I guess we've got our job. But, where to start? I confess, I had hoped to be able to study the towers more closely, vital as they plainly are to the Telephoroi's plans. If we can discern their ultimate function, we will be one step closer to understanding our enemy's grand scheme. Should we succeed in neutralizing them, of course, it is all but certain that the Telephoroi will mount an all-out invasion. And then it will begin. The one who awaits at the heart of the chaos will come for us. For you. Yet, in the end, our true nemesis may be the calamity to end all calamities. Final days themselves. Right. The same calamity that the Ascians needed Zodiark to stop. Yes, alright, Alphino. We need a plan, not portents. As Frankert so eloquently pointed out, we are in a position to seek information from all manner of places, not least Sharlayan. Oh. According to Kryl, the Form have been more secretive than ever of late. While this may be related to the appearance of the Telephoroi, that remains a matter of speculation. But one thing is clear. The Form is determined to keep us from discovering the truth. Master Fulchino's performance at the Lotus Stand was enough to convince me of that. The matter bearer further investigation, I do heartily concur. Nor can I think of a more promising place to look for the answers we seek on the matter of the towers. Sharlayan have ever been the wellspring of ethereal... That's a hard word to say. Ethereological. That's a hard word to say quickly. I care not where we go. Here or there, my lance will be ready. And what of you, Sorin? Might you be persuaded to join us? Of course. I'm not about to sit around doing nothing. Here, here. It is time we laid bare to Telephoroi's dark designs. It appears we are in agreement. We have but to wait for Krile to secure the necessary permissions. In the meantime, there is a matter I would investigate. Does it involve tall structures? By strange coincidence, it does. At present, I have only a creeping suspicion, but with your help, I will soon find out whether my fears are warranted. Shush. Oh, why we unlocked the shush emote there, but emotes are emotes. Meanwhile, in the Garlean capital.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch. Though I suppose you knew that already.
I'm just noticing the cylinder in Xenos' scythe. I wonder if it's like kind of like the weapon he uses is kind of like something for a kind of a hybrid class almost between Reaper and Gunbreaker. Does it still have like the same magically infused the shells in it?
My plan to redirect the ether from Cartano came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure. Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it. The dreamer will not complain.
Then let us begin the preparations at once. With the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach. The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon. Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
You could have just asked. He has to be so roundabout about things.
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
Banquet? Graha?
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically. Far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
Then...
What tidings bringest thou from Dravania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
the towers are drawing upon the land's ether, which would explain how they were able to carry out the summonings.
So we can't even stop shipments. I kind of wanted to give you credits before you actually. Yeah, it is a little
Our allies
odd.
must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
Hear me. Hear me.
That's...
Hear me.
Eidolon?
Darkness comes. And with it,
Eidolon?
the end.
Is that...
The fate of the star is in your hands.
Was that really...
Everything all right back there?
Oh. Yeah. No problem. The big moon. At solemn dawn, grim purpose shines, and gazes cast towards moonlit sky. Thus does our final curtain rise, your steps to guide what end betides. Under the darkened moon. There it is. That's the first Endwalker quest. But I've still got time, which is good because I have something else I want to do. Which is, if I go to New Game Plus, where's my DPS quests? Here we go. Because, yep, Sorin's new job I've got ready for him. Well, I guess for now there's not too much I can do except wait for word from Kryl. After everything that happened in Pagelfan, I should check around Ilda, see if there's anything I can do to help out. Should probably be focused on doing whatever I can to try and keep the realm stable until then. I need as much focus as possible on the Telephoroi. Oh, I guess I'm back to my usual adventuring. Seeing who looks like they need help. That's someone who looks concerned. Excuse me, sir. You there. You're the fighting sword, yes? And by the looks of it, one of no mean skill. You could say that. Is everything okay? My employer is in desperate need of a man of your talents, you see. He's been beset by threats from an unsavory group of thugs known as the Lemurs. Is that Lemurs or Lemures? What? Not sure. I'm fairly certain it's Garlean, and Garlean tends to be based on Latin. Is it Lemures? Their leader demands my master part of some of his considerable wealth for... Well, I'll just tell you they call her the Reaper, and leave the rest to your imagination. We don't intend to acquiesce to these churlish demands without a fight, and a stout arm by our side would go far to ensure our survival. Your arm, perhaps. There's a group of thugs going around now of all times. I suppose my time wouldn't be badly spent if I was to try and give old Al one less problem to worry about. In case the opportunity to perform a good deed isn't enticement enough, please be reminded that my master possesses considerable wealth. If you would aid us, come with haste to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, where we make our stand against these brutes. I'm still not too worried about money, but... This sounds like a problem that's best nipped in the bud. Last thing we need is trouble at home next time the Telephoroi attack. There he is. So I guess this must be his patron? Excuse me. I was told you needed some help. You! I know why you're here, and if you mean to lay a finger on my coin purse, you'll have to pry it from my cold, lifeless... Master Gigolo, he's a friend. This adventurer has agreed to help. We'll show the Reaper what our empty intimidations are worth. I see. My apologies, sir. Tensions have been high of late, as I'm sure you can understand. Of course, it's rough times indeed. For reasons that elude me, these Lemures have made my life a waking nightmare. Sight unseen, they have demanded I begin paying them for the luxury of my own life. Rumors abound of their origins. Some say they are the detritus of some barbaric nation. They flout our laws and threaten their betters with impunity. They are led by a dead-eyed killer who draws her scythe at the smallest slight. Refuse their payments of coin and she takes her share of your lifeblood instead. Rubbish, I say. The Reaper is naught but a toothless bandit. Interesting theory you have there. Care to test it? Scythe, then... Is that the Reaper? You're the Reaper! Oh, you're a perceptive one, ain't you? Suppose that's how you came to be in possession of so many shiny things. Now what do we have here? Are in more help while our ledgers remain unbalanced. You wouldn't be trying to wiggle your way out of paying us for a job well done, would you? Job well done? You've hired them? My, how do you keep the lies straight? You didn't tell your hired muscle what great friends you were. So great, in fact, that you trusted none other than me and mine to put the scare into your competition. You were hired to... a job we were happy to do. You can't find your fortunes in this fair city without stepping over a few bodies on the way after all. But as flexible as our morals are, I'm afraid without the coin to bend them, we only have one recourse. Unless... So just the way the lights turned on all of a sudden there. Does wonder how you found yourself with a bodyguard of such uncommon metal. Aye, no non's of fear in that gaze. Not a mode of puffed up arrogance either. This lad, my dear Gigolo, is the genuine article. Genuine art. He has what we in the mercenary trade call the killer instinct. Killer instinct? How's this? For the sake of our long-standing friendship, I'll make it simple. Allow me to take this adventure off your hands, and the debt is forgiven. That's all. I believe this is what them in your trade call a bargain. As for you, adventurer, seems you've been made a free agent. But if you're still inclined to put those instincts of yours to use, come and visit our headquarters in Pearl Lane. Doors open. What was... You okay, sir? Please, you must do as the Reaper asked. If you don't, I fear she might return for her wages, and this time demand interest. I'm not sure, but at any rate, I don't know if this is something I can ignore. I'll go along and at least find out what all this is about. That was... He was there with the Reaper, right? Boss told me you'd be along. Coming in? Alright. See if I can't get an explanation. Boss, guest of honor's arrived. Can I help you? Savior, Alamigo, and Doma deigns to appear before me. Guess you've done some research since... Aye, I've heard all about you. It's hard not to in this line of work. Stories paint you as ferocity incarnate, a force of nature few have survived. I don't know if I'd put it quite like that. Peace, friend. I have no desire to put the killer to the proof personally. I don't have a death wish. You can call me Drusilla. I'm a Reaper. One of many. The leader of this little family here. As to why I invited you into our home, there's a job I'd like you to take care of for me. Alright. I'll need to hear more. I'm not up for any interrogating or extorting people. Now don't worry that virtuous heart of yours, eh? I wouldn't ask you to do so much as bend the law. This job is purely for the benefit of your fellow man. All you have to do is kill one for me. Oh, perhaps kill ain't the right word, seeing as he's already dead. Got an undead problem? Don't look so surprised. I know you've seen the dead walk. This time you'd be up against a void scent. Come here to unleash its singular brand of wickedness upon the world. Won't be an easy task. The evil driving this monster is as black as the void, near as deep. Countless souls have succumbed to its hunger. Where we pray for one inclined to heroics, don't you think? You can't face it as you are, though. Storied as your strength may be. I'll need to train you in techniques. Techniques that'll let you pierce the void and slaughter its kin. The void? What exactly are you talking about? You're... Garlean? Don't see many Garleans in Uldar, do you? Let alone ones as savage as this. Savior startled gasps. I'm not out of surprises yet. That's... Hold your hand out to the crystal here. If you're made of the stuff I think you are, you're in for a treat. Soul crystal? I didn't think Garlean's used. I know how these work. This is different. That's it. I knew you had what it takes. This would be an avatar. A manifestation of your essence. The Stygian power the void sent on the other side. A void sent to which, if you so choose, you will bind to yourself. Bind to myself? You'll gain skills unlike anything you've ever known. Skills that have allowed people like me to operate in the shadows. And kill those that need killing since time immemorial. Nice office. It is a fairly nice office. It kind of reminds me of the Solar in The Waking Sands. And your first assignment, should you walk this path, is to use the power of one void sent against another, for the betterment of the realm. Your reward will be the wisdom of countless generations of Garlean assassins. Well, deciding with my kind makes your stomach churn. Oh. Stop talking too quickly, I can't. Oh. If the thought of... But if sight of mankind makes your stomach churn, then take your indignation and piss off. If the thought of having one foot in the void makes your stone shrivel into your belly, then take your cowardice and piss off. If you've any concern for the sanctity of your soul, then take your virtue and piss off. However, you've none of the aforementioned objections. You don't mind walking the knife's edge twixt life and death, and you'll have the tools to see your justice done, and done right, every time. This is the choice you must make, and soon. Every moment our quarry stalks the land is another opportunity for it to do harm. That's... I'm not fully on board, but... like you say, there's a void sent out there killing people, and I can do something about it. I can't deny. Take it you've come to a decision, am I right? Maybe no turning away once you've chosen, mind you. You'll dance with death and return as his envoy. You won't return at all. So what'll it be? Well... I'm pretty used to walking the line between life and death, I suppose. I suppose I've got a bit of experience of dancing as well. Very good. Let's not waste time. Take up this crystal, and attest to both worlds that you walk as a reaper. Bind yourself to the void, and claim the strength that the weak of heart shun. Through the avatar at your side does the void scent bring its power to bear, feeding upon the souls of the fiends you cut down in return. Not a bad arrangement, eh? But I'm sure you tire of words. Here, the traditional weapon of our order. Let's see how it looks strapped to your back. Right. Admit as well. I'm curious what brings Garlean assassins to living and working in Ul'dah. I don't exactly have any gear for this quite yet, but... well... what do you think? How'd you find a way to the scythe in your hands? Peace and I hope. Now that we have a bit more in common, it's time we became better acquainted. What's the name of our newest Reaper? You've heard as much as you have about me, and I suppose maybe people just in the streets just know me more as the Warrior of Light. I don't know how well known my name is. Sorin Sherwood. Sorin. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. So it is with Eorzean names. Oh, I always thought Sorin was a fairly easy name to pronounce. With every new one I learn, one more is forgotten. Yours can replace Gigelo's. After our little conversation, I think it'll give us a wide berth. Any route, we've got more worthwhile concerns than shifty merchants. Namely, getting you conversed well and proper in the tricks of our trade. The best way to do that is through battle. One of the family is having trouble with a particularly vexing fiend. I sent word asking for assistance. He goes by the name of Arnegus, and he's stationed out near Cutter's Cry. Not much of a fighter, but he's got a keen mind for trade. Can find a needle in a stack of needles if need be. We'd best hurry before he ends up at the bottom of some monster's gullet. As long as it's slaying monsters. I'm not on board with assassination, but these skills can be used to... They can be used for good as well. At least I feel at this stage I'm pretty used to how soul crystals work. Sorin, say hello to Arnegus. It's not his real name, of course. He's as Garlean as we come. But I'd say he makes a possible Highlander in the correct light. I suppose I don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference if you hadn't said so. Boss, who's this? You sure we should be getting an outsider involved? Thank you for your discretion, Arnegus, but it ain't needed. He has a personal contract with me, so consider him a mercenary in service to the family. Whatever you'd say in front of me, you can say in front of him. By your will, boss. Chimera's been making these sounds a living hell for anyone who dares to wander into its territory. Which should be us, since our trade route cuts right through it. Men I've hired to carry my goods are scared to death. I can't blame them. None of us are fit for monster hunting, so I sent for you. Now let's see what we can do, Arnegus. I'd want to find a rock to hide behind, though. Chimera's ain't known for being the most discriminating of beasts. Chimera. Guess a new one's taken up residence here. Time to put your new skills to good use, Sorin. Well, ready as I'll ever be. Don't see any sign of a chimera in there. It's gone on a hunt, eh? We'll need to draw out the chimera with Myrmidian meat. Now to accustom yourself to the Reaper's tools. Harvest the souls of the fallen to call forth your avatar. The best Reapers fight in tandem with their avatars. Let's see how you do. Right. Let's make a start. I see how this works. You've taken to killing more quickly than I could have hoped. It'll be an easy thing to summon your avatar to your side. The hands definitely aren't too much of a threat for me at this point, I feel. Let's move into the fun bit, eh? Your avatar will help you strike fear into the hearts of your foes. Gibbet will hurt him from the flank, and Gallows will surprise him from behind. If you're getting swarmed, use Guillotine to carve yourself some space. Chimera won't be able to resist the smell of blood. Make sure to soak these sands in it. Alright. Using Guillotine like a true killer. Reap a feast of souls in one fell swoop. I've got the hang of this. At least a little. You're getting the hang of it. Gibbet will hurt him from the side. Switch off between that and gallows to make your attacks even more deadly. A little more. That's what I like to see. Gallows will hurt him from behind. That bloodshed should have gotten to Chimera's attention. Steel yourself for a fight. Fought Chimeras before. Our target arrives. Finish this and I'll let you keep its head as a trophy. With all due respect, I think I could do without a Chimera head. As long as your avatar's by your side, horses like this are nothing more than easy prey. Show me you've been listening, Sorin. Give your avatar a feast to remember. Remember to position yourself. Gibbet from the side, gallows from the rear. Simple enough, eh? I do like the taste of getting the Endwalker music as well. This is all stuff I'm familiar with. I don't think it was recently I fought Chimeras, but... Right. There we go. I really do get used to soul crystals after a while. It's like second nature already. There we go. That should be the trade route safe. Alright. Bloody impressive work, that. I knew there was something about you. Truth be told, I didn't expect you to make such clean work of that Chimera. I reckon even I might be hard-pressed to match that display. You know talent when you see it, boss. With that, the ceruleum will flow once more. Ceruleum? Excuse me? Among his many roles, Renegas is a merchant of sorts. Sells ceruleum at a price to make those gill pinchers at Amagina and Sons balk. It still turns a pretty profit. We can barely keep up with demand, despite the occasional beast or two butting into our affairs. Ceruleum? I thought you were a group of assassins. Where does trading ceruleum come into it? All thanks to you, boss. And our countrymen up north, of course. Here's to getting back to business as usual. Countrymen up north? From Garlemald itself? That's a point. This is a Garlean art. Nothing else. And everything that's going on, maybe it wouldn't hurt to learn a bit more about Garlemald. Ceruleum ain't easy to come by, as you well know. Amagina and Son protects their monopoly of a gilded fist. They've yet to force the Imperial stragglers up north out of the market. Before you go running off to the flames, let me assure you that this arrangement is entirely above board. Selling goods to Imperials is forbidden by law. There's nary a word writ about buying from them. I suppose. I know you Eorzeans like to call Garleans by all sorts of colourful names. Bastards, tyrants, invaders. And aye, we've got all those and worse. While many a foul deed has been committed for the glory of the Empire, being megalomaniacs to a man, even amongst the purebloods. Those that serve don't always do so by choice. Could be argued we're all casualties of the great machina's ambition. No small number of the Empire's troops would return home in a heartbeat if they could. But the world being what it is, most settle for sending their family what few coins they can afford to part with. Most Eorzeans wouldn't suffer a whit of colour to complicate their black and white view. If you're going to fight with us, you should learn the truth of our past. Long ago, long before the Empire, our forebears lived in Locus Amoenus, down in southern Ilsbard. With temperate climes and fertile earth, land provided. Many of us were simple farmers, harvesting abundant crops with the self-same scythes the reapers would eventually wield. But gifts are ever the object of envy. When not tilling the fields, our ancestors were forced to defend them. Every year they yielded a few more ilms, and some 800 years ago now, they were driven from Locus Amoenus completely. They fled north, a frozen region that would become Garlemald. Even there, they fought tooth and nail for the scant resources of that frigid land. From the fires of hardship were the first Magitech devices forged, and with innovation upon innovation, that humble group of farmers grew into an insatiable empire. But before that miraculous twist of fate, we were a dying breed, bereft not only of magic, but of hope itself. With no natural advantages to speak of, our mere survival was in question. From harsh necessity were the Reapers born. We turned our tools to weapons and struck a bargain with the Whispers in the dark. With the Void's power, we could strike at an army's beaten heart, slay their generals and throw the rank and file into disarray. Our way is to end battles before the sparks catch, to sacrifice the one for the many, to keep avaricious hands away from family, friends and lovers. Now, this power belongs to you. Remember when Ian Roger's answers basically said that Reaper Origins are angry botanists? So I suppose it's the way of a lot of kind of... I think it's similar with a lot of like genuine like historical assassins, that their tools and weapons tend to have their origins in just civilian equipment. Because a lot of the time they're tools of people who don't have that same professional military training or access to expensive goods. You simply use what you have. That's more of an idea I can get behind. Remember our story. Remember what drives a man to turn to the void, and you'll not be led onto deeper temptations. I'll certainly keep it in mind. Our work here is done. I'll see you back at headquarters. Right. Suppose now I've started, I'll see this through to the end. At least until we get word from Kryl about Charlian. Or I suppose if any of the others has work for me, but... Armed citizens. Hello? Well, if it ain't Sorin, you headed in? Excuse me? Drusilla? You're first out and you did good. I think you've earned the right to know just who just who this lot you've thrown yourself in with is. Suppose I would like to know who I'm working with. So who are the Lemures? You might have gathered this yourself, but the Lemures were formed to support those Garleans who are living in exile. It ain't easy to be far from home, let alone in a place where most would sooner gut you than offer a helping hand. Often the only place to make a living is in the shadowy corners that lie outside the watchful gaze of the law. So everyone here's been exiled from Garlemald? Now, I don't expect you to embrace us like brothers and sisters straight away. But know this, I do expect you to apply yourself to this job. Of course, I might still have my doubts, but I like to keep my word. In the meantime, I'll be working with the family to ascertain the whereabouts of our prey. I expect that scythe to be like an extension of your own body when next we speak. And next we speak? Ah, there you are. Looking deadly enough that scythe to make me weak at the knees. I wager it's time we stopped faffing about and made ready to hunt our target. My Lemures have been hard at work scraping together what information they can. Let's see what they've got. That's Arnicus and... I don't recognize the woman there. Everyone here? Good. Arnicus you've met. No further Chimera-related incidents, you'll be happy to hear. The overly chipper lass over there is Ermin. Make your acquaintances. Pleasure to meet you. As you know, our quarry is a void sent. He goes by the name Orcus. He's alluded to best. These two are a step above that. Tell us what you found. By your will, boss. Ask around about unsolved murders and disappearances. Seeing if any involved someone matching the description you provided. There's as many missing people as there are grains of sand. No shortage of tragedies either. One, however, stood out among the rest. A woodcutter in the Black Shroud. Disappeared without a trace. No body, no belongings, nothing. An odd occurrence by itself, but the sightings of a stranger with skin pale as snow near his last known whereabouts piqued our interest. Now that's a promising start. Those woods are crawling with bandits and brigands of all sorts. Duskwights and keepers are said to come in ghostly hues. Be sure this man ain't one of them. As sure as I've ever been, boss. Not many bandits have eyes the color of blood. It's a match too close to ignore. I can't gainsay that. We have a lead. If I may, boss, are you sure we need to help with this outsider? How much trouble could one void scent be? Ermin, standing right there for God's sake. No, she's right. I've always told you to turn a wary eye to those outside the family. She's just doing her due diligence. But trust me when I say we need every advantage we can afford. I made the mistake of misjudging Orcus' strength before. And for my hubris, my family, my flesh and blood family, was slain. All of them. I was planning on holding that back a bit longer, but as before the Lemures, I swore two things. I'd repay that suffering 1,000-fold, and I'd never let that bastard take anything from me again. I mean to keep my vow. I trust I can count on you to help. You don't have to ask twice, boss. Your wounds are our wounds. Even the ones that become scars. We'll see your vengeance wrought. All these years I've scraped to make a place for us. I looked forward to the day he'd pay his dues. And it ain't just for me that we have to hunt him down either. He's a blight on Eorzea itself. The longer we let it fester, the more suffering it'll spread. We need to corner him now, while we have the chance. Are you ready, Sorin? You know those woods as well as any of us. and we'll need your experience if we hope to be back before supper. Right. I'll do my best. Much appreciated. Alright, let's get to it then. Ermin, I want you here in Ul'dah, keeping your ear to the ground for any news of Orcus' movements. Arnegas, you lead us to where this woodcutter disappeared. By your will, boss. That'll be the central shroud, so our best course would be to set off from Bent Branch Meadows. It's been a moment since I've needed to be around those parts, but I'm familiar enough. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, thank you. Interrupt the teleport. Did I clicked on the wrong one a second time. No, Bent Branch. Alright. So what's the plan? Oh, good, you made it. Before we set off, allow me to share the circumstances of our poor woodcutter's disappearance. As I heard it, he disappeared nigh on a week ago. Got lost, some surmise. But he was a seasoned woodsman. Not some highborn traveller who forgot to buy a map. I questioned those closest to him, and none could think of a reason he might want to make himself scarce. He'd even made plans to meet with friends not long from now, but I expect that promise will go unkept. Sounds like we can rule out a voluntary departure. I believe we can. Last person to see the man alive said he took his axe and ventured northwest. And that's where we'll set our trap. Here, Sorin, take these. A Magitech transceiver, and a candle that's scented like Voidsent's favorite libation. Blood. Right. Once it's lit and the fumes are wafting through the air, every Voidsent within 30 yalms will come running. If either of us sees Orcus, let's give the other a shout over the transceiver. As I said before, Orcus is inhabiting the body of a man. He can put on an awfully convincing performance when needs must. Don't give him a chance to work his wiles, or his fangs will be in your neck before you know it. As much as I want to accompany you, I'd only be a liability in a fight. Whether you find Orcus or not, return here and I'll report back to the Lemures. Good luck and good hunting. Alright. I'll have to track down a Voidsent. This is, I suppose, somewhere near the area. Oh. So just light the candle and... That's an uncomfortable smell. No sign of any Voidsent. Check somewhere else. Let's try here. Still nothing. Wouldn't have gone to the guardian tree, would he? No. Again. That's definitely a Voidsent. Don't see the pale... Doesn't have the pale skin and the eyes are blue. Not Orcus. But... threat nonetheless. Hold up. Dropped a ring. It's... might be evidence of something. Bring it back with me. Guess Drusilla hasn't made it back yet. Arnegas? I'm glad to see you in one piece. What's that you have in your hand? I did find a void scent. Had this ring on it. You said the void scent was carrying this. Drusilla? That ring. Where'd you find it? I encountered a void scent up near the guardian tree. Don't think it was Orcus. I see. There can be no doubt. The void scent that Sorin slew is the very same one that murdered our woodcutter. Murdered? Are you saying... Aye. While I was searching for a place to set my trap, I spotted a shallow grave. Hastily dug and poorly hidden. Under a thin layer of dirt was a body matching the description of the woodcutter. Wholly nondescript fellow, save for the mark of a ring removed from his finger. Doubtless that ring was his demise. Shiny baubles are a common fixation for void scent. Probably didn't spare a thought for the owner, only the prize. I suppose we can take comfort in the knowledge that it'll harm no one else. Orcus or not, I'd say this expedition was a success after a fashion. I should apprise the whalers of what's transpired. You two catch some well-earned rest. Thank you kindly, Thank you kindly, Arnegas. Well then, I'll see you back at headquarters. Right. I definitely don't seem too much like assassins. Even that Digilo guy. Drusilla said what he hired them to do was simply scare his competition. Not exactly something I approve of, but it wasn't like they were murdering people. Shady they may be, but they don't seem to be bad. And there I was. There, I thought this would finally be over. When Arnegas has a lead, we're usually toasting our kill the day after. Well, these are exceptional circumstances. Maybe we didn't get the satisfaction I promised. The sitting here with our heads in our hands won't do us any good. Let's be happy with one less void scent preying on helpless woodcutters. Neither of these are too much towards Sorin. If Orcus is still out there, we'll find him. Glad to see a passion for our mission. Apologies we couldn't make your first outing more memorable. We were on the cusp of ending 2 decades of misery. That's how long ago Orcus came into this world, raging like an animal free from his cage, leaving my family dead in his wake. The grief he's caused since then is immeasurable. No matter where his accursed feet take him, his hunger follows, and the realm bleeds to sate it. Oh, excuse me. Of course, we aren't the only ones hunting him. He's as clever as he is vicious. Not even the finest trackers have been able to keep on his trail for long. Don't lose heart yet, boss. While you were away, I was making the rounds, and I might have found something that'll soon bear fruit. Arnegas is following up on it as we speak. I swear, someday that man is going to keel over on my account. Still, there's no one else I'd trust to tell me the difference between truth and hysteria. That being said, this work takes time to do right. Use this chance to hone your skills. And if all goes to plan, next time we speak, you'll have a golden opportunity to test them. Has there been any word? Apologies, Sorin. We're still waiting on Arnegas to come through. There's not much you you to do around here until then? Unless you have a knack for cleaning. Well, I suppose I could help. Herman is good at wheedling out promising stories and whatnot. But getting to the truth of those stories is a craft as delicate as weaving. I'm sure you've seen firsthand how one bad bit of information can lead to elaborate plans coming apart at the seams. Once or twice, yeah. Boss! Boss! Calm down, lad. Breathe. What's gotten into you? It's Arnigus. He's been murdered. Murdered? What? Tell me I heard that wrong. I'm afraid not. Brass Blades found him half buried in the sands not bells ago. Just laying there like some bloody animal carcass. They're bringing him to Erlig's burial chamber as we speak. Drusilla? Whoever did this doesn't know the reckoning date got coming. Before I'm done with them, they'll be begging to crawl back into their mother's womb. I want just as much as you do, Ermin. I do. And it's times like these we need to look for the boss for guidance. As you can see, Sorin, emotions are running high. I should stay here until Herman pulls off. And you let the boss know we're standing by and waiting for her command. Like as not, she's gone to pay her respects. Right. I'll check in on her. What happened to him? Was it Orcus? Drusilla was saying that he's good at evading detection, which maybe means he knows when he's being tracked. Sorry, Sorin. I ain't in the mood for chit-chat. Right. Maybe I should just wait. Where's the bloody keeper? My lady Privy, the dead must be let to rest. Dad's gonna have one more among them if you don't shut your trap and listen. Brass Blades brought in a body not long ago. Show me to it. Ah, yes. That they did, but... Are you the deceased's family? If not, I'm afraid we cannot... Family! Family! Arnigus was like a son to me. Like a son. Ordinarily that would be... He is interred in the innermost coffin. However, I must advise you not to gaze upon the body. I don't think she's in the mood to listen. Mother... If she insists, then so be it. God damn it, Arnigus. Told you not to go and get yourself... Don't, Sorin. This isn't for you. Right. I'm sorry for barging in here for all the bluster. You forgive my rudeness. Promise me that Arnigus gets sent off well and proper. Of course he shall be. However, if you wish to inter him within the city gates, well, such sought-after space comes at no small expense. I don't care what it costs. Just send your man to Lemuria's headquarters to collect what you require. Sorin, I appreciate you coming to find me. There's someone else I have to speak with first. I'm heading to Stone's Throw. Come along if you please, but come along in silence. Right. Well, I can be quiet. Stone's Throw, she said. So this is where Arnigas' dear wife earns a living. Let's get this over with. Right. He was married. Is there anything? Arnigas, never forget the debt he owed you. The debt we both owed you. Even so, his loyalty ran even deeper than that. It's a strange thing to look back onto people we were. A decade younger and a lifetime more foolish. Young lovers, proud patriots, blissfully ignorant. Returning to Locus Amoenus, cradle of our people. Triumphant homecoming for the Garleans after centuries in exile. Once mighty invaders had been laid low and driven back whence they came. And it was a banner day when Arnigas was honoured with a post there. Honour and pride quickly faded when we saw the truth of Locus Amoenus. We hadn't just defeated our enemies. We'd clapped them in irons and condemned them to a life of servitude. Descendants of those who'd driven our ancestors north so many generations ago, made to pay for the crimes of their forebears. His superiors were certainly pleased with the poetry of it all. Arnigas, however, could not simply look away from their suffering, let alone take pleasure in it. Confronted with the reality of the place we would call home, his conscience demanded he take action. He began cooperating with the resistance. But the eyes of the Frumentarium are all seen. Before long he was ousted as a sympathizer. It was only by the grace of good fortune that we escaped with our lives. I've often lain awake at night, wondering if he had outlived his usefulness to the resistance. Or perhaps it was a petty senior officer that orchestrated our fall. Regardless of the cause, the outcome was the same. We could never return to the Empire. We fled to Eorzea by way of Razahan, the only route open to us. It wasn't soon after stepping foot in the docks of Limsa that your luck ran out, as I recall. Stopped by Yellowjackets and accused of being Imperial spies. Aye, but we still managed to escape. We ran and ran, terrified that our pursuers would one day catch up to us. That is, until we met you. Had you not taken us under your wing when you did, we shudder to imagine our fate. Your gratitude's the last thing I deserve, lass. If I hadn't sent Arnigas off on that damned fool's errand, he'd still be alive. It was Orcus that killed him. No mistake. He died for my vengeance. I can't tell you how sorry I am. No, you needn't apologize. I know he was happy. So long as he was helping you, he was happy. The blame for his death doesn't rest on your shoulders. It rests on the man The monster that murdered him in cold blood. And I expect you to see he answers for this crime. For me and Veronicus. I will, lass. I will. And this I swear everything that I have to swear. We need to talk, Sorin. Somewhere with fewer prying eyes. Come meet me at the bridge to the north. Of course. Whereas Mina's they for all that people seem to say about them and for all the way they seem to act. These Lemurians are definitely seem to be good people. Drusilla? I owe you an apology, Sorin. I'm not telling you everything about me and Orcus from the start. Dragged you into a fight against a foe that's cunning, brutal, and utterly merciless. I thought with all of us together we'd tip the scales in our favor. But I was wrong. And Arnigus paid the price for my hubris. That void scent we tracked in the Black Shroud was likely one of Orcus's minions. I was too caught up in my grand scheme to realize it at the time. Should have thought about why it tried to hide that body. Your common void scent wouldn't have the guile to bury a kill. What if Orcus taught it that as a way to throw trackers off its scent? And to dangle bait for me and mine? Orcus has used the same trick in the past. And he knows that we know it too. By dispatching his minion, we drew his attention. Arnigus was a warning. Orcus doesn't give his prey swift deaths. He toys with him, cuts into him, and savors the screams. That's how I knew he was responsible. It's like a signature. The way he leaves the bodies when he's had his fill. I only pray Arnigus doesn't take that suffering with him to the next life. Orcus will be coming for you or me next. Not right away, though. That'd be giving up the game. He wants us to keep looking over our shoulders, sleeping with one eye open. He'll wear us down without even lifting a finger. When he finally strikes, we'll be dead on our feet. Playthings for him to do with as he pleases. That won't do. We need to bring the fight to him. No more waiting around for a lead to come to us. It won't be easy, but I still count on your help. Of course. I want to do it for Arnigus as well. I'd not have known him too well, but he seems like someone worth fighting for. Thank you, Sorin. If you've got no qualm risking life and limb to fight for Arnigus, to fight for me, I've got no qualm calling you a member of my family. Proud to join you. Family. A curious word, that. Is that... Drusilla? Bloody... It's him, Sorin. Orcus. Some persistent rats were nibbling at my tail. I should have known by their stench it was you and yours, Drusilla. Or should I call you... granddaughter? Shut your mouth, you thrice-damned monster! Granddaughter? Monster. Is that any way to greet a beloved elder? Children these days. It seems one death wasn't punishment enough for you. A second should suffice for the scant remainder of your being. Sorin, we're ending this here and now. Follow my lead. Right. Oh, I thought we might savor our reunion for a while longer. But if you insist, I shall feast upon your beating heart here and now. Die! Teleport. Reminds me of how Ascians work. I suppose if he's a void sent, they both have the power of darkness. Naught but dregs left in that desiccated vessel of yours. Too long has the hide been left in the sun. But your family has been replenished with fresh blood, I see. My, and what a bounteous soul this one has. Your sight may be dull, but your eye is as sharp as ever. Blinding as the sun, pure as the snow. Delectable as a boar slavered in grease. I had thought to make a quick meal of you, but perhaps, just this once, forbearance is in order. Such a singular specimen must be given time to fatten, to fulfill its succulent potential. Oh, it would be a travesty to consume you ere you achieve perfection. When your soul is ripe with fear, swollen with hatred, and fit to burst with despair, I shall return for you, Sorin, and I shall gorge. For me? Until that time, sup well, my growing whelp. I've had quite my fill of people taking an interest in me. Drusilla? Curse these old bones. It was right in front of me. Could have ended it in one swing. For a moment, just one moment, I saw it all again. My family slaughtered, lying at his feet. My life slipping away. And that was enough. Doubtless you have more than a few questions. I'll answer them, I promise. Now's not the time, trust me. Standing around kicking the sand won't change what's done. Let's return to headquarters and let the wind cool our heads. Then we can consider our next course of action. Right. So that was Orcus. Calling Drusilla his granddaughter? If it was just daughter, I could maybe have... I guess it could have been something metaphorical, but granddaughter seems too specific to be anything but... It was my own fault. I hadn't stood there slack-jawed. I wasn't so damned slow. You'd be rid of that abomination once and for all. What you saw used to be my grandfather, before Orcus took over. Looks green enough to be my own grandchild now. A trick of the void like as not. It's no secret that if a void scent doesn't want to devour you, it probably wants to take possession of your flesh. But Orcus has a particular talent for it. And as you doubtless surmised, he's got an insatiable craving for ether. Killing is only a prelude to the act of gulping down our essence, like a draught of ale after a day's work. He's old. I can't say exactly how old. He's acquired a taste for the finer things. Seems your soul counts among the finest he's ever seen. Things just keep getting better for us, don't they? Admittedly, it wouldn't be the first time. That's so. Used to being a prize pig, are we? Any road, it's clear that safety is no longer something we can take for granted. Not even in a crowded street. Not even in the middle of the day. Keep your eyes peeled. Watch out for those terrible red eyes. We're sitting chocobos for the moment, but I'll think of something and send for you as soon as I can. Till then, never sleep far from your scythe. Two more. Glad to see Orcus hasn't sunk his teeth into you yet, Sorin. Don't go thinking he's given up on trying, though. What's the next step? He's out there, savoring you from a distance. Can't resist checking in on his prize, just as he can't resist seeking out morsels to tide him over till his feast. Reports we've received of a man pale as death skulking about the sands is proof of that. And then there's the matter of this blunted dagger. We don't know who sent it, but we do know what it means. It's a warning commonly used by the less savoury elements in Ul'dah. A warning that the next will be delivered sharp and straight to our bellies. More fool them. They've no notion of what we've faced and lived, thinking we'd soil our small cloves over empty frets. Let's hope it's nothing more than that, lass, seeing as we need to follow up on these reports sooner than later. Anyone fancy a bit of fresh air? If we catch a whiff of Orcus's foul stench, all the better. Sorin, I want you to ask around near Blackbrush Station. I'll let the stones through. When you're done, meet me there, and we'll share what we've dug up. Right. Back to the investigation. Having Xenos trying to get at me is more than enough. I don't have much room in my life for too many people trying to get at me. I recognize that self-assured stride. Mark of a man ready to take on the world and then some. You must be the Eorzean Reaper the boss sent word about. That would be me. Guessing you're one to Lemurray? Have you heard anything? I'm almost disappointed to tell you nothing is amiss. The soldier in me would have loved to see a Reaper in action. I once fought in the Imperial Army, though you wouldn't think it to look at me now. I served proudly under Lord Valens in my youth. Until the day he ordered us to use common folk as fodder in some pointless skirmish. I refused and was sentenced to death for my candor. Needless to say, I didn't keep that appointment. I'm not surprised Lord Valens immediately sentenced you to death. You might be interested to hear that he's certainly dead now. Compared to that evil, toothless frets and ghosts are no bother. But the less jaded, the more excitable. One lass in particular has been jumping at shadows. Claims to have seen all manner of terrors, but I suspect she'd be startled by her own reflection. Still, if you want to lend an ear to her delusions, you can find her in Lost Hope. Well, it's better than nothing. Oh, busy afternoon. At least it's Friday, Minnie. You've only got like an hour left? Excuse me. Hello. Who are you? Sorin Sherwood. I'm just doing some investigation around here. Oh, did Drusilla receive my missive? She sent someone to rid us of this terrible evil waiting in the wings. Oh, truly, she cares for us cares for us as if we really were her flesh and blood, which is more than I can say about my own. Not once have I longed to return to the life of comfort I left behind in Garlemald, and I have Drusilla to thank for that. Hour and a half, then it's off to the new apartment. Yeah, nearly over, Money. Just a couple more days. She isn't the reason I left home in the first place, of course. Had I not met my beloved, I would likely still be feasting on lemon cakes in ignorance. In ignorance of love, freedom. I found the former in Garlemald and the latter in Eorzea, and as our new life blossomed into something beautiful. Not every day has been easy, not even most days, but Drusilla's watchful eye has kept us safe, and our freedom is worth any measure of hardship. Such terrible fear gripped my heart when my beloved told me of the pale man he spied on the sands. But now that the family has come to help, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I'm sure you wish to know precisely where to find that horrid creature, but I cannot help half so well as my beloved might. Seek him in the southeast, and pray put an end to this nightmare. Right. More exiles from Garlemald. I never stopped too much to configure how many Garleans opposed what the Empire's doing. How many exiles are there living around in Eorzea secretly? Come to think of it, as well, Lucia's like that as well. Excuse me, sir. Through deviled mists the hunter doth now tread, tracking the scent of quarry others dread. In darkest night cry for a keeper. Lo, by your side he walks, the reaper. A poet? Apologies for the effusive display, friend. I'm a poet, you see, and cannot resist putting into words the flood of emotions that accompany such a striking figure as yours. Sir? Is... Monster! A void scent. It's not Orcus, but this one's definitely strong. I know how to deal with this. No one's dying on my watch. Are you okay? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! My savior, my godsend! Would that I could have aided you, but alas, a poet's pen is of little use in battle. Unless, of course, that battle involves not swords and scythes, but words. I just asked the sire of my beloved, who is even now licking the wounds dealt by the invective verse I composed after he had the gall to forbid our union. A masterwork of scathing metaphor and subtle remonstration. Alas, for all their pretensions, nobles are anything but subtle in their rage. We were forced to flee, to abandon our homes with only our love for sustenance. Nevertheless, I've regretted not a single moment of our life in exile. In Eorzea, we found an unexpected treasure. Freedom. Freedom of mind and freedom of heart. But I digress. Surely you did not seek me out simply to save my life and leave with a nod and a smile. Did you wish to commission a poem? Actually, I was sent to investigate. You're... I don't know if you're married, but your lover said something about you'd seen a pale man. We're chasing after him. The pale man? Aye, I encountered him whilst wandering these arid wastes in search of inspiration. I felt the gaze of some terrible presence upon my back, and when I turned to meet it, he was standing there, grinning like a butcher in a bullpen. He wore robes much too thick for these scorched sands, and his skin looked as if it had never been kissed by the blazing sun. Worst of all, his eyes were as two bottomless pools of blood. I feared my end had come, but then he vanished as quickly as he had appeared. Oh, perhaps I've been reckless. Recent incidents make it clear that the cost of inspiration is higher than I am willing to pay. I shall return to my beloved, for both my safety and hers. Thank you again, my savior. Right. Feels a little weird to be called savior, but at least I was there to help out. Do wonder, though, if that void-sent being there means that Orcus was watching. Back to stone's throw. I'm going to take a slight break. Just need to run to the bathroom. Yeah, I'm definitely going to finish off because there's only one quest left. Yeah, I will be back very briefly. Apologies for the delay. Disadvantage of my streams going on a little longer sometimes. But back to it. Nope, and there's the rain on. There you are. And I found someone who claims to have seen Orcus. Attacked by a void sent while I was doing so, though. Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to quickly run to the bathroom, Minnie. No worries. I'm guessing you were distracted. You had other stuff to do when I said so. Another one of his accursed minions. Well, I suppose we can take comfort in the fact that none of the family came to harm. Yourself included. Well done. Speaking of which, what do you think of this family you've been thrust into? Speak freely. I haven't lived this long by taking offense at opinions I don't want to hear. Well... I suppose... really do seem like a family. All looking out for each other. You particularly. Seen some odd families then, I reckon. I'd like to think we're one of a kind, though. Collection of cast-offs unfit to live under the Empire's boot. Yours truly included. Yes. I don't know your story, I suppose. Much as some enlightened types might tell you otherwise. People like to have a say in the life they lead. That's what separates us from those bugs over there. Born queens, workers, drones, bred into roles and ingrained so deeply they wouldn't know how to live otherwise. For the glory and prosperity of the hive. We've got it in us to be different. Might be born into farming, soldiering, or politicking, and we can choose to walk a different path whenever the fancy should strike. It ain't in our nature to accept our lot without question. No. We have to believe in something. Put our faith in it. Only then will we deign to march in step. And indeed, faith of a savage stripe is one way to get us dancing to the same tune. Others might be compelled through faith in logic or law. Intangible, invisible, yet cause enough for killing and conquering if it suits the Queen. The invaders have sullied our birthright for 8 centuries, no longer. We march for Locus Amoenus. With a few righteous words, his radiant Solus Zos Galvus whipped the hive into a frenzy. That was itself. Once that fire's burning, the passion of the masses can't soon be quelled. What was once a wish for home became a holy mission to spread enlightenment. Enlightenment which would not suffer such beliefs as the beastmen held. Countless scores rendered up their lives on the altar of empire, until an entire continent was united under a single Magitech fist. I'm noticing this questline, I'm only just noticing now, like, has a lot of music taken from the Void Ark questline. Those who still dreamed a dream of unity, a deed worthy of song. Yet some awoke to see it for the tyranny it was, my grandfather Rullus included. The talents of the Reapers are passed down through bloodlines. Rullus was the best of us, the most accomplished and feared in the Order's long history. The duty of the Reapers, our role in the hive if you will, was to deliver our countrymen from corrupt and power-hungry tyrants. When Garlemald found religion in conquest, its appetite grew to be insatiable. My grandfather pondered this conundrum for many sleepless nights, and came to a decision. He would relieve Solus Zos Galvus of his life. That, I can't imagine, went well. "20 years ago he slipped into the deepest chambers of the Imperial Palace, silent as a shadow, till he could hear the Emperor's beating heart. Yet when Rullus returned to me, Solus was alive and well. My grandfather, on the other hand, had a skittishness to his step, and his black hair turned a pale white. He said naught of his encounter with the Emperor, save that the most powerful man in Garlemald was no man at all. Shamed in his defeat, my grandfather sought ever greater power. Bit by bit, he gave more of himself over to the void sent behind his avatar. Orcus struck when Rullus was weakest, taking his flesh and soul in one fell swoop. When he was finished, not a mote of my grandfather remained in that body. There was only Orcus. Fiend flew into a rapturous frenzy. My family were his first victims. I remember the chill of his teeth sinking into my flesh, gnawing until they reached my very essence. How I how am I standing here before you then? Oh, Orcus gorged on a soul that night. It wasn't mine. Not exactly. It was my avatar that filled his belly. Seems that was all he could stomach. Your avatar? Some might consider that a lucky twist of fate. I had little time to ponder my fortune. Fled soon as I was able. His radiance never looked kindly on those trying to end his life, or their families. I wandered about for years until I settled here and started seeking out others like me. Others who had awoken from the Empire's dream. Lemures is what we call the spirits of the dead in the Garlean tongue. Fitting moniker if there ever was one. Waking up from a long sleep ain't unlike climbing out of the grave. I can attest to that. Son of a bleeding... Remind me not to give such long-winded speeches when the I say when it's raining rather than when the sand's blowing in your face. I'm heading back for some ale. See you at headquarters. Yeah, getting in out of the rain might not be a bad idea. Your grandfather tried to... Yes, it was quite a secret that Solus was Emmett Selk. Well, welcome back, boss. How's the family? Shaken, but unharmed, aside from some tussle there and mangled verse. Orcus left one of his minions behind as a gift, but Sorin made quick work of it. Always said he was a keeper. You have an eye for the fierce of heart. I happen to recall you not being fond of me the first we met. I wager he could slay Orcus all on his own. Not that we'd let him take all the glory. Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence. Of course we wouldn't. We'll all be there when Orcus tries to take his prize. I don't think we'll be waiting long either. Orcus said he'd strike when Sorin was ripe with fear and hatred and despair. Seasonings he's loath to forgo. I have an inkling how he might try to draw out those emotions. And finish off a half-eaten meal besides. Right you are, Drusilla. Orcus. Drusilla? How many nights did you mourn your lost avatar? The wellspring of your power. I must say it was quite the dish. Right. Is it... I think not. Move so much as a finger and her head will hit the floor. You... Oh, that's it, Sorin. That fire. I want to see it burn. I want to see it rage. I want to see the hatred seep into the depths of your soul. Shall I make this Drusilla's final breath? Or this one? Oh, it is so very hard to choose. You... I was right not to give in to my baser instincts. To allow the thought of your taste to simmer in my mind as you and Drusilla formed a bond. A kinship, even. Born from an understanding of her inconsequential ideals, that you may better appreciate the bitter loss. But perhaps I should wait a while longer. Let the flavor of your hatred mature, and the tang of your malice ripen. I can make use of Drusilla yet, revel in her screams, exult in her misery. Ah, how splendid it will be. All the while my prized piglet growing fat with loathing and succulent with terror. Patience rewards the dutiful gourmand, after all. When your tantalizing flavor has fully matured, I shall return, and I shall reap my harvest. Drusilla. Is this just because I got involved again? Ermin, we need to track him down. Goddamn Voidsent bastard! Soulless piece of shite! Herman, you need to think. How can we track him down? I know. Now's not the time to lose my temper. Deep breaths, cool heads. Right, we need a plan. First things first, find out where Orcus is hiding. The rest of the family should be able to help with that. In the meantime, you need to prepare. I know you're good, Sorin, but we can't leave the boss's life to chance. Sharpen your skills and your scythe. Then sharpen them once more. The boss can do naught against an Orcus without her avatar. That means you'll have to do the heavy lifting. Of course, I'll do what I can to afford you an advantage. You can count on that. For Drusilla. Thicker than blood. Oh, when I get my hands on him... Oh, Sorin, listen. We found out where the boss is being held. But I'm warning you, the how of it isn't pretty. An envelope arrived at headquarters this morning, and I opened it and inside was... Shite. Inside was a letter, written in blood. There's no doubting whose it was. Orcus is reveling in his own cruelty. The letter said he's waiting for us at the dusk vigil. Gods know what he's going to do to her now. He's not going to do anything. I've called on every able-bodied member of the family for this one. We're heading out as soon as everyone's assembled. Everyone? We're here. We're here, Ermin. More are waiting outside. We're ready to repay the debt we owe Drusilla. With our lives, if we must. With souls courageous, hearts of hardened steel, for leaders' sake, for family's ideal, into the demon's lair they soon shall tread, to end his terror foul, his reign of dread. Boss would beam with pride to see this group of cold-blooded killers. Alright, Sorin, we're ready when you say the word. That's... If you come along with me, it's dangerous. I don't think Drusilla would want to lose any of you. What? We might not hold a candle to the likes of you, but we got skills. We'll need someone to distract Orcus, right? And you can move in for the kill while his back is turned. Don't tell us to stay here with our thumbs up our arses while the boss is suffering. Drusilla will only suffer more if you go along. It'd hurt her to lose you. What do you know about what she wants? Ermin, listen. Maybe maybe he's right. I know he's right, god damn it. Doesn't mean it doesn't chafe. Boss wouldn't trust just any man of the Reaper's art. And Sorin has proved himself worthy time and again. If you're going alone, take that with you. Drusilla's scythe. For the boss. No self-respecting Reaper can reap without their scythe. Just one more hour. Nearly there, Mooney. Herman's right. Drusilla will need this. I might be able to convince everyone else to back down, but I don't think I can do the same to Drusilla. I'm going to make Orcus rue the day he crossed into this world. I will. I'll bring back Drusilla. Nope. Garlean salute. Suppose, well, going for a fight, maybe I should make sure I'm armed up for it. And get something that might protect me a little more. There we go. Dusk Vigil. Alright. Hold on a little longer, Drusilla. Where's the glamour I had for the... Oh, you can't do it while mounted? That's a shame. Give me a moment. Let me get the... the scythe I want to have. I don't know how I should feel, though, about the fact that Orcus is the one who found us. I'd hoped we might be able to get the drop on him, but if he's expecting us, then... this fight is probably going to be weighed against us. All right. Hello? There you are, Sorin, my prize repast. Come forward. You can hack into the link shells? Alright. Drusilla! Orcus. I can smell it. Your fear, your hatred. Your tender, marbled soul. My masterpiece, ripe for the slaughter. I'll savor every bite. Strip the flesh from your bones. Crack... Oh. Missed that one. How I hungered, how I thirst, enraptured by the thought of your sweet essence trickling down my throat. Never have I suffered so in waiting, but in beholding your magnificence I see it was worth every agonizing pang. I do not expect you to leap into my maw willingly, nor do I desire it. I want you to writhe and struggle until your dying breath. That works for me. No intention of lying down and taking this. I'm getting a little taste of the Endwalker dungeon boss theme. Right. It'll be a tough one, but... I fought Elidibus, now it's Selk. One Void Scent isn't going to stop me. Right. Calling more friends. How about this? Falling off of all the attacks. Oh. Now, Reaper's one of the classes I just kind of click with and how the rotation, well, kind of how the rotation works. Ah, very good. Defiance becomes you. Though, it begins to bore me. My scythe... A noise, rather. 'Tis past time you bared your belly for my blade. Prey's sole purpose is to satisfy. Drusilla? Drusilla! My word, your aim is terrible. Wasn't aiming for you. I do like the... I just kind of like how... Oh, what's the word for it? Just like they took use of like the more animations and having more specific animations, I feel, when it comes to the like Endwalker job quests. There should be nothing left of you. You gotta learn to chew your food more thoroughly. Fools, the both of you! I won't die so easily. Easy or not. I'm not letting you stick around. Very well. Meat is all the more delicious when it is tenderized. Give him a taste of his own vile medicine, Sorin. Rip his soul out. Alright. You just worry about Orcus, Sorin. I'll take care of the rest. I'll leave that to you then. Crap, I've been forgetting to keep up depth design. That's no good. I did not dodge. Right. A little more. This is all over. On. You got right. Yep. Wasn't prepared for the Warrior of Light. No. Drusilla. This is your fight. Thank you, Sorin. But yeah, not even just the facial expressions, but like the actual movements of characters all feel more specific and not so like generic emotes. Dripping with fear, boiled in hatred. I can still smell its exquisite aroma. Just a taste. It's over. It's done. Let's get back to headquarters, Sorin. Everyone's waiting for you. Don't think most people know where to get it. Yeah. It's like his job is your job is casually slaying gods. Like that's your casual stuff. on the side, you're saving different realities. Fighting the Unsundered. Boss, Sorin! Sorry for causing you all no end of worry. In tracking me down, you risked life and limb, and for that I thank you. All of you. At least Aldous knew doing the paladin. Yeah, that is a good one. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna bow out of this fight before it even begins, because no, there's no point me even trying. We didn't risk anything. We just sat here praying until you and Sorin walked through the door. Don't be so hard on yourself, lass. I know each and every one of you would have joined him if he hadn't talked some sense into you. That certainly was their plan. We owe you our lives, boss. We owed it to you to return the favor. You're more than I deserve. Who forces them they hold dear into a personal vendetta? Who leads family to their death? Arnicus was no fool. He knew and accepted the risks. He placed his faith in you because he believed Orcus had to be stopped. And he was right. There'll be no more victims to mourn. He helped you achieve that victory. It'll be enough for him, and it'll be enough for me. You're right. This ain't the time for sulking. Arnicus will be the first to tell me that. Now's the time to honor his sacrifice. To toast those we have lost, and those still by our sides. And to thank the brave souls that led us here. That means you, Sorin. Much as I'd like to take credit for Orcus's demise. At least she looks cool with the bandage. Yep. No. And you know, when you're leading up to Reapers, you've got to do that. Got to get that extra step towards being edgy. You've got to have the eye patch. The missing eye. It was a long, bloody road. This marks the end of your first assignment as a Reaper. What an assignment it was, eh? You might not be Garlean, but you tackled your task with a singular resolve that impress even the most hardened soldier. I'm proud to call you family. We may have founded Lemurians to provide a home for wayward Garleans. Yet we're not so different, Garleans and Eorzeans. No great revelation that, but moments like these help put it all in perspective. This family was a dream that gave us the strength to survive in a strange land. But the beautiful thing about dreams, if you ask me, is that they can change. They can get better. So I say that, from this day forward, the Lemurs will be united not by origin, but by purpose. Brothers and sisters bound by shared convictions. Okay, yeah, this is what I feel like. Reaper aesthetically is edgy. If you go with like the standard Reaper thing, but I don't think Reaper's story and like the lore behind Reapers is all that particularly edgy. I don't think, not compared to Dark Knight, I don't think. I don't think anyone will object to that, boss. Lemurs are ready to welcome people of all stripes. Starting with you, Sorin. No, it was all but official already, eh? Suppose so. Hi, here's the birth of a new family, brother. More than you think, less than you. There's a reason Sephiroth's song is the Dark Knight Anthem. Ooh. And that as well, like, the background music for the Reaper Guild, like, for the Reaper HQ, it just doesn't feel like an edgy headquarters. It's got a little bit of whimsy to it. What a day it's been, eh? Hope it'll be a while yet before I have occasion to yammer on that much again. Too much talking's liable to put me in a sentimental mood. Or worse, make me dewy-eyed. So let's leave it at that, eh? You ever get weary from the weight of the world on your shoulders? Know that our doors will always be open. If you need an ear to bend, a shoulder to weep on, a stiff bottle to jump inside, I'll be right here, brother. Thank you, Drusilla. I'm just glad everything worked out. Nope. And there we go. That stream took a little longer than I'd planned, but I think worth it because that means I've everything cleared the way I wanted to before starting Endwalker. Which means on Tuesday, my next Final Fantasy stream will be moving on to the final expansion. Well, not the final expansion, but the last expansion we have for now. Again, I'm hoping to make sure I get Endwalker cleared up before Dawn Trail releases, and then kind of take a little bit of a break from. Kind of glad you saw bits and pieces of Reaper story. Yeah, I do like the Reaper story. It's nice kind of that before, especially doing it before Endwalker, getting that little bit more humanizing Garlemald a little bit more. Because not too much has been done on that side of things before then. Garlemald's always kind of been the big bad evil in the background. I know they've done like bits and pieces with like the Sorrel of World and like with Lucia in Heavensward. But yeah. So that's going to be everything for tonight. I will... Yeah, no streams now until Monday, where I'll be back with Persona 3 Reload. Next week will probably see me finish off Persona 3 Reload. And then... after that, I'm probably going to take up like some smaller, shorter games. And it'll probably not next week, but after next week, I'll probably go, it'll be 3 streams a week will be Final Fantasy, and I'll have 1 a week will be kind of whatever other shorter game I'm going to have, at least until I finish Endwalker's main story. And then at that point, I've mentioned a few times now, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Sorin's journey, just to kind of let Dawn Trail, the initial hype for that and all the extra queue times and such, to let that kind of flatten out a bit. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into Dawn Trail myself. But more than that, in the immediate future, I am very, very much looking forward to Sorin's journey through Endwalker. I have been looking forward to this for a while, ever since I went through it, finally went through Endwalker with my main character. But yeah, with all that said, thanks so much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed. And until the next time I see you, I hope you have a good evening, have a good night, and goodbye.